Hello everyone, and welcome to series part 3 Boss Strategy Guide. Today we'll be covering the Uber bosses. If you happen to have missed the last few strategy videos covering the Act bosses, don't worry, I'll have a link at the end for those videos. Before we start this, there is something I would like to go over though. Remember, these bosses are not your run-of-the-mill enemies. Make sure you're prepared when going up against them. They do have the potential to dish out heavy damage, if not one-shot a player, so keep that in mind when watching this video. Alright, well, let's start with Uber Damien. Uber Damien is somebody that you summon using at the town of Vanoia, using the pieces of the Damien set. Uber Damien will always start off with 1.8 billion health, especially if you're solo. If you happen to have multiple players in your team, his HP will go up depending on how many people are in your team. Usually a billion each player. He starts off with blood beams all over the place. He also likes to spawn mobs that like to do the same type of thing that normal Damien does. Throw out arcane, and they also like to drop bombs everywhere. Pretty much, Damien is a walking biohazard that just loves to spray his... he loves to spray his blood everywhere and everything else to try to kill you. Once you get him to about the halfway mark, he drops his head, just like normal Damien does. And it does some heavy damage, so you don't want it to attack you. There's not really a good way to fight Uber Damien. Just kind of want to avoid all his attacks and then just dish out as much damage as possible to kill him. But yeah, Uber Damien in a nutshell, guys. If you clear all the mobs on this stage, at the end you can open his chest and get about 15,000 rubies at the end. There's also a chance for a boss drop off of him. So look forward to possibly getting one of those. Next we have Uber Reaper, or Shade of Death, however you want to pronounce it. You open it using 10 dimensional shards in the Shadow Realm by talking to the merchant that opens up the portal way. Once inside, all you have to do is hit all the buttons. It'll open up the gate for you to get in to fight him. If you happen to have a Mario pipe, you can just jump the gate and you don't even have to hit the buttons. When going up against Shade of Death, he has quite the array of skills compared to normal Reaper, and he always starts with about 3.7 billion health. You can only fight him solo, so you can't bring players in to help you or friends. But that skill right there is a one-shot kill. It doesn't matter how much health, how much block, how much dodge. It doesn't matter. It's a one-shot kill regardless, so you can't be hit by it. You gotta dodge it. As you can see, I have 500% block. I have 2500% all resist. I have 31 million damage reduction. I have 12 billion health, but he still one-shot me. So let's go ahead and show you guys what his skill setup is. This time I won't die, I promise. So he starts off with death coils just like the normal Reaper does. The only difference is it's not his only skill. He will send out a lantern. This lantern will continually heal him over time if you don't kill it. And he'll try to proc that drop on the ground to try to kill you. He will also throw out a scythe that will do a lot of damage, so watch out for those. But as you can see, his health, even though I'm damaging him, keeps going back up. And the reason behind that would be the lantern right here. It needs to be killed. You can see that every time I take a hit, I'm taking massive damage. But the thing is because I have so much HP, it's not making a huge difference. I also have a lot of health regen, but I'm not going to let him hit me with that one-shot skill. I can show you that no matter how much damage I do, his health is still gonna go all the way back up because of the lantern. So first things first, when you're fighting Shade of Death, make sure you take out his lanterns, because if you don't, then there's absolutely no way you're going to kill him unless you can get his health down so fast that he can't even summon lanterns. That is definitely possible. It's just going to take you a while to be able to dish out that kind of damage and min-max your gear. But as long as you take out those lanterns, he won't heal himself, and then eventually you'll be able to take him out. Just like Uber Damien, at the end, if you happen to have killed all of the mobs, you'll get about 15,000 rubies if you're playing on online. After grinding enough battle fragments, if you collected 100, you can now go in through the portal and you can fight Tung Lee. Tung Lee is a beast. You don't want to get hit by his damage. He's gonna try to do tons and tons of different moves. He throws his flails everywhere. He does a skill called Earthquake that shatters through the ground. He likes to jump into the sky and land on top of you. He has fire that you stand in it, you take damage. There's so many skills that Tung Lee has that do so much damage, but none of it is one shot. The only way you can get one shot by Tung Lee is if you have way low HP, or if you have no damage reduction or resistance from fire or anything. Tung Lee is not the type of boss that can one-shot you unless you have all those factors. So as long as you have a decent amount of HP, you have some damage reduction, and you have decent resists, you should be able to take Tung Lee. It's just a matter of how long you can dodge his attacks and dish out damage. If you happen to be able to do enough damage, then he doesn't have a chance to usually attack back. But he will always have about 2.1 bill HP, and you do have to fight him solo. Once you've defeated 10 towers, you can take on the tower boss. The tower boss first makes you fight a bunch of mobs in order to basically win his favor. I went ahead and sped this up just so that you guys don't have to watch me slowly kill these mobs. But after these mobs are dead, I slow it back down just for you guys so that you can watch the boss fight, take in an idea of what his skills look like. That way you guys are prepared and ready for when you guys take on Tower Boss. Alright, so we won his favor and he jumped down. I went ahead and recorded this at a wave 20. So this isn't the wave 10 tower, this is the wave 20. So this way you guys can kind of see that even though there's a chance for him to dish out a lot of damage, he still can't one-shot. So he spits spikes all over the ground. Those hurt, don't run into him. He does hammer hits, which are his normal attack. That skill right there, that's mostly his one-shot skill. It will do a lot of damage to you. It has the potential to one-shot you if you have low enough HP. I don't think you'll die instantly if you have about a mil HP, but I can't say for sure. All I can say is when the red beam of death shines out, you don't want to get hit. Besides that, everything else isn't too bad. As long as you have enough damage reduction and you have enough HP, you should be able to tank it 1 or 2 hits at the minimum. I definitely would not, though, take a hit from the red beam. That ground slam move that he does is pretty devastating. Besides that, this is the boss that everybody calls Monkey Boss, end of the tower, and it's not too bad. I think you guys should definitely take it on. If you guys find yourself doing 10 towers in a row, there is some pretty good rewards, such as Side of the Gods. With that being said, this has been the Uber Boss Guide. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you watch the next video, which is me taking on the wormholes.